Welcome to Explain the Charts, where we break down the latest market movements for Litecoin. It is currently April 11th, 2026, and LTCUSD is showing some very interesting signs on the daily chart. Before we dive into the candles, let's look at the massive news driving the current sentiment. Litecoin has officially transitioned from just a payment asset to a Layer 2 smart contract platform with the testnet launch of LitVM. This zero-knowledge rollup solution is expected to bring DeFi and dApp functionality to the Litecoin ecosystem by the end of the year. Furthermore, we are seeing institutional growth following the launch of the Nasdaq-listed spot LTC ETF back in October 2025. The merger involving Z-Squared, which listed on the Nasdaq as ZSQR on April 7th, has created a massive US-based miner for LTC. Analysts are currently noting a capital rotation from Bitcoin toward high-liquidity altcoins like Litecoin. While community sentiment has shifted to giga bullish, the technical momentum on this daily chart remains in a consolidation phase. We can see that the price has been trading roughly between $52 and $56 over the last few weeks. The historical price action from early 2025 shows us that Litecoin spent a lot of time above the $100 mark. Since then, we have faced a long-term downward trend that has brought us to these current valuation levels. Identifying a trend reversal here is crucial for long-term holders waiting for a return to triple digits. The daily candles currently show a series of higher lows forming since the beginning of April. This suggests that bulls are stepping in to defend the $53 level with increasing frequency. Narrowing in on the 1-hour chart from late March, we can see a specific period of volatility. On March 21st, the price faced a sharp rejection near the $56.50 level. This rejection led to a slow bleed down toward $53.50 over the following 24 hours. However, notice the strong recovery that started on March 23rd at 11 o'clock Universal Time Coordinated. A large bullish candle pushed the price from $53.80 back up to $54.90 in a single hour. This move was supported by a surge in transaction volume, which we often see during institutional buybacks. By March 24th, LTCUSD was testing the $55.70 area again, showing resilience in the face of selling pressure. This specific range highlights a battleground where bears are trying to cap the price below $56. Whenever LTC dips below $54 on this hourly view, buy orders seem to fill rapidly. This creates a local support floor that traders have been utilizing for short-term long positions. The VWAP during this period stayed relatively flat, indicating a market in search of a new direction. We can see several long lower wicks, which represent successful tests of the intraday support levels. This type of price action often precedes a larger breakout once the overhead resistance is exhausted. The news of increased merchant adoption in early April correlates with this steadying of price. Traders should watch these hourly pivots to gauge the immediate strength of the trend. If we step back to the daily chart and look at the fourth quarter of 2025, we see a massive event. On October 10, 2025, there was a historic flash move where LTCUSD dropped from $125 down to $54.94 in a single day. The price recovered to close at $97.95, but that wick created a long-term psychological level at $55. It is fascinating that we are currently trading right back at that October 2025 low point. This level has acted as a magnet for price action over the last 6 months. In November 2025, we saw a brief rally back above $100 after the ETF news fully settled in. However, the inability to hold the $110 resistance led to the current distribution phase. Look at the volume spike on November 7, 2025, where the price surged 17% in one day. That move shows that when Litecoin decides to move, it does so with incredible speed and power. Since that rally failed, we have seen a steady decline back to the $50 range. This current area can be viewed as a massive double bottom attempt on the long-term chart. If the $54 level holds as it did during that October 2025 crash, it could be the foundation for a new bull market. The Golden Cross recently reported in the futures market adds a bullish technical layer to this structural setup. Open interest is surging by 8%, suggesting that traders are positioning for a breakout. We are essentially testing the ultimate line in the sand for LTC bulls. Now let's examine the 15-minute chart to see how the market has behaved over the last few days. From April 5th to April 10th, LTC has been slowly grinding upward. We started this period near $53.60 and have seen a series of stair-stepping moves. On April 7th at 22:24 Universal Time Coordinated, a significant breakout occurred, moving the price from $54.19 to nearly $55. This move cleared the local intraday resistance and turned it into support. Throughout April 8th and 9th, the price consolidated beautifully above the $54.50 mark. Each time the 15-minute candles touched $54.40, a new wave of buyers entered the market. By April 10th, we reached a local high of $55.54, which is a very positive sign for the short term. The volume has been consistently higher on the green candles compared to the red ones. This suggests that the current accumulation is under strong hands. The VWAP has been trending upward alongside the price, confirming the bullish intraday bias. Notice the low transaction counts during the small pullbacks, which indicates a lack of selling conviction. This 15-minute structure is exactly what you want to see before a test of a major daily resistance. The market seems to be front-running the mainnet launch news expected later this year. Scalpers can look at the $54.70 level as a potential entry point for continuations. Returning to the full daily view, let's recap the most important price levels for your trade plan. The primary resistance level is $57.50, and a daily close above this would signal a major trend reversal. On the downside, $52.60 remains our critical support level that must hold to avoid a crash to $30. I believe there is a 60% probability of an upward breakout within the next 30 days. This prediction is reinforced by the LitVM testnet progress and the institutional mining expansion by ZSQR. If Bitcoin maintains its position above $70,000, the capital rotation into LTC is likely to accelerate. However, if we lose the $52.60 support, the bearish forecast of $30 becomes much more likely. Traders should keep a close eye on the futures market open interest for any sudden shifts. A breakout above $60 would likely target the previous consolidation zone around $85. The long-term outlook remains bullish given the scarcity and the new layer 2 utility. Short-term traders should look for entries on 15-minute pullbacks to the $54.50 zone. Always wait for confirmation of a resistance break before entering a full position. The current market structure is leaning bullish, but discipline is key in this environment. Keep watching Explain the Charts for more updates as this Litecoin setup develops. Finally, please remember that this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research and manage your risk carefully before making any investment decisions.